Good afternoon, everybody. If I could ask you to please take your seat, as we will be starting very shortly. And if you are one of our graduates, please make sure you are in the correct seat. Thank you. So, hi, I am Jo Thomas. I'm the CEO of the Australian Institute of Business and also your MC for this incredibly special day. The ceremony is just about to commence, but before we do, we just want to make sure that everyone is safe. So in the event of an emergency, please follow the directions of the Convention Centre staff and they will get you to safety. Now, having told you all to sit down, I'm going to be like a personal trainer today. You're going to be up and down like rabbits. I would now like you all to please stand as we welcome the members of our academic team to the stage. Take their seats. So it gives me absolute great delight to welcome everyone here to the Australian Institute of Business 2023 graduation. I would like to commence today's proceedings by welcoming a veritable roster of distinguished guests who have joined us today to celebrate the achievements of our graduates. Uncle Mickey Kumadmi Moracha, our keynote speaker Tanya Hosh, members of our Board of Directors and Academic Board, and of course you, our soon-to-be graduates and your nearest and dearest, those incredible people who helped you be here today. We couldn't be more thrilled to have you all here to share in the celebration of this incredible milestone. And what a celebration today is going to be. It is a day where we all come together to recognise the end of a long and sometimes arduous journey full of missed soccer games, and definitely not my turn to do the dishes. I have an assignment to do. And to celebrate those of you who took not only the very first step that so very few do, but who saw it all the way through to the end. We know that there were late nights, there were sacrifices along the way, and not just by you, but also by your partners, your friends, your family, and also your workplace. Study can often feel like a solo endeavour, but we know that it is simply impossible without that support. And so, to everyone at the back and on behalf of our graduates, thank you. Thank you to the husbands, the wives, the best friends, the partners, the employers, and everyone else who has been part of this journey, but who isn't going to get the moment to cross the stage today. And I would like to give a round of applause. So graduation day, and you'll hear me say this word a lot, is one of great celebration for our graduates, their friends and families, but also for those of us who work at AIB, who get to experience the great privilege of seeing the work that we do transform the careers and lives of our students. And so while today is a serious occasion, it should not be a solemn one. This is not my first time emceeing one of our graduations now, and I know that as each student crosses the stage, they will be front and centre for only a few seconds. after hundreds of hours and years of effort. So for those of you in the audience, please don't be shy. Call out, cheer, do the haka. We've had a couple of hakas. Tell them you're proud. They are the moments that will make today even more special. So we are a global organisation, and we recognise the traditional custodians of the lands on which all of our students study, both here in Australia but also overseas. And today we meet here on the lands of the Kaurna people. And so I would like to welcome Uncle Mickey Kumatpi Muracha O'Brien to the stage to welcome us to country. Now, Uncle Mickey is a senior Aboriginal man, a descendant both of the Kaurna, the people of the Adelaide Plains, and the Narunga, York Peninsula people, and a passionate advocate for Aboriginal culture, and we're really glad to have him here. I would like to welcome you, Mani Nina Pudni, Uncle Mickey.
Tuwela Manipudnik, Tuwela Wakanapadnik. Nai gana biako, maklankla, marwachanga gana mina. Minyana na mani pudaji, nai nari kamatbi marita, nai wangadi mani pudni gana yatana, irndi yata, tanendanga, karawira para, AIB ku, mukamuka rindi, Bama Bambaya Wadley. So welcome to the lands of the Kaurna people. Today we meet not only alongside the Red Gum Forest River, the Torrens River, but Adelaide itself being the place of the Red Kangaroo, but here at a place that was known as the conference place, a meeting place where our nation's peoples came to exchange in knowledge and wisdom. Today we have this special occasion of you who are graduating and you who have your family and friends here to help celebrate that. When we come to a place, we say you are the important people. And so we call upon the spirit people of our ancestors to bring you good blessings, to send away the sad or the old that follows. Our people have always welcomed people. We understood the connections that we can make, the things that we can build, and the things that we can exchange. And so when you come to a place, it is important to know a place, to be connected to a place. So I say to you, welcome to this place. And that I hope that the spirit people walk with you as you walk across this land. But I want to exchange a couple of stories with you this afternoon. A story of a young daughter and a mother who were out collecting bush medicines. And the young daughter became hungry and she said to the mother, "Do you have something to eat? Because I am hungry." She said, "I have these witchetty grubs." And the daughter refused. She said, "I didn't like those," and so she didn't take them. And so she said, "Do you have anything else to offer?" And she said, "No," but she said, "If you wait long enough, maybe the old women who are out collecting bush foods will come past and maybe they'll have something for you." She said, "I'll wait." And as she waited again, that hunger got the better of her, and again she asked, "When are those old women coming?" She said, "They shouldn't be too long, but I have these witchetty grubs, would you like them?" And again she refused. And a moment passed again, and she said to her mother, "Those women are not coming, are they?" She said, "No, they're not." She said, "I'll take those witchetty grubs now." Two brothers, Karakari and Kakira, didn't like sometimes to be alone. One brother particularly didn't like night time and so would build a fire to give him light and comfort. The other brother loved the darkness of the night because he felt that he could rest his eyes from the day and therefore dream about the wonderful things that night could bring. And as they got older, they talked about their afterlife, because our people believe that our physical is only temporary, but our spiritual is forever. And therefore we return back to the landscapes, the skies, the waters, the animals and the plants. And so Karikari said, "I don't want to come back as a place of darkness." And his brother Kakira said, "If you do come to a place of darkness, I will shine a light upon you so you won't be afraid." And that moment came where Karikari did find himself in a place of darkness. And true to his word, his brother Kikira shined a light upon him at that night. Well, Karikari is the fish, Kikira is the moon, and therefore at night, when the fish find themselves in the darkness, they'll follow the moonlight. What do these stories tell us? Well, you as graduates have been on a journey of discovery and a journey of accomplishments. Therefore, it never stops. So we must continue to be prepared. Otherwise, if we're not prepared, we'll accept what we are given. But also, we must use our knowledge, our wisdom, to shine a light on those who need us, to give them that light, that guidance, so that we can continue not only to build relationships, but to make our lives and our world better. So I say to you, Nachi Yakandaya, Padnia do is saying, continue, let us walk together, do it in harmony, do it as brothers and sisters. Never say goodbye, always say, see you later. So Nakada, Nei Chaya. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. You are important. And I wish you well as you not only celebrate today, but as you continue your journey. Nakada.
Thank you, Uncle Mickey, and I'll see you later. Now, I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Tanya Hosh. Tanya is the Executive General Manager of Inclusion and Social Policy at the AFL. She has a long and distinguished career in policy, advocacy, and also governance. She's a Torres Strait Islander, passionate about anti-racism, and identifies as a feminist. Before joining the AFL, she was the Joint Campaign Director of the Recognise Movement for Constitutional Recognition. In May 2017, it was her contribution as a member of the Referendum Council that contributed to the result of the Statement from the Heart. So please join me in welcoming 2021 South Australian of the Year, Tanya Hosh.
Excuse my back. Hey, how are you? Some special people in the room with special hats. I didn't get one. I'm so pleased to be here. I've found myself speaking at a few graduations of late, and I'm always just so impressed and inspired, but not quite enough to sit here to watch you all go across the stage. So apologies in advance. I'd like to start by thanking Uncle Mickey for his welcome to country, such an important cultural leader in South Australia, and I'd also like to acknowledge Ghana Land. Thank the Australian Institute of Business for inviting me to speak to you today. It really is an honour. I want to sort of introduce myself to you more fully than what the bio offers, just so you get a bit of a sense of context about who I am and perhaps what's formed the views I'm going to share with you today. I'm a Torres Strait Islander woman, Torres Strait Islander father, Welsh mother. I was born in Adelaide. And I was adopted when I was 3 weeks old into a family with an Aboriginal father from New South Wales and a white mother. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only Torres Strait Islander in the country that doesn't really eat seafood. So a bit of a shame job, that one, but what are you going to do? As Joe said, I work at the Australian Football League. Is there any Aussie Rules supporters in the house? Anyone got to gather round? Yeah, I did. I went to 7 games and I'm still recovering, and that's not the reason I'm on the knee scooter today. But I've been at the Australian Football League for 7 seasons, and I never thought I'd last this long. I've actually got a colleague who's graduating today, Edward Wilson. Well done. Where are you, Edward? Hey, Edward, well done. Awesome. I'll make sure I tell Gil. I have to say, I am really impressed that people can manage to juggle employment, family, life and study and get it to the end. And a big shout out for the people who've obviously supported you on that journey. Bit of a congratulations for the robed ones here. Yeah, from you. Yeah. I am truly impressed and I do warmly congratulate you on your graduation today. You're definitely equipped to lead and you're officially more qualified than me, although most of you probably would have been before you completed your MBAs. I've been asked to talk about my leadership journey and to encourage you all to boldly grab the world by the horns and make your impact on the world. After all, that's the reason that we enter into continuous learning, to try and make ourselves more equipped, more capable of doing whatever it is that is on our hearts to do. I'm asked to speak about my leadership journey quite a bit, and that's given me cause to actually think about it, because it hasn't been a straight road, and it hasn't even been a particularly well-designed one. But when I started at the AFL in 2016, I was the second woman appointed to the AFL executive ever, and the first Indigenous person appointed to the AFL. I had no idea how many glass ceilings I was breaking through when I did that. I went into the role really quite naively. It still often feels a little bit like an episode of Sesame Street. Which one of these is not like the other? That would be me. But the good news is that I have sustained my place at that table for 7 seasons, and with every passing year, we have a more and more honest, robust relationship that allows me, as someone who's leading on inclusion and social policy issues, to feel like I've got every right to put my position forward and try to bring the perspectives of people who often get drowned out through cultures of dominance and privilege. And it is a great privilege to be able to do that. I think we all hear a lot of speeches in our lives, and I wonder how many we actually remember. The ones that I think have the best impact or the most memorable impact on me, I realised about 10 years ago, were the ones where people were their authentic self. I'd probably spent the 20 years previous to that trying to model what success looked like on other people's shoulders and in other people's skin, and I was never nailing it. In fact, in my previous role to the AFL, I had the terrifying opportunity to speak at the National Press Club about constitutional recognition. And my strategic communications director kept sending me YouTube clips of Barack Obama, telling me that I should watch his speeches and try and take on board his cadence. I still don't know what cadence is, so therefore I was never going to meet that expectation. And it was really apparent to me that I was not going to meet that expectation. I mean, Barack Obama, you know, he's not like everyone else. So the way I prepped myself for the National Press Club, I watched Beyonce's performance at the Super Bowl from 2013 over and over and over again. And why did I do that? Because I wasn't going to be singing and dancing, as if I could rock her leotards anyway. But the reality is, she is fearless. She is absolutely fearless, and she owns who she is, and she struts her stuff, and she's unapologetic about expressing herself. And that's what I aim to be. I don't want to offend people necessarily, but I also don't want to be afraid to bring my worldview to the table and into the room. And in this day and age, there can be so many people who want to hold us up as a thought criminal if we think something different. And so as an Indigenous woman standing here today with a disability, so I'm ticking a few boxes, it would be really easy for me to try and wax lyrical about all of my social policy agendas. And believe me, I could. If Joe had only given me more time, I would have. But the reality is we need to be able to have real conversations. And what I have found is the best way to lead is, obviously, you need to be able to bring people with you. And we don't always agree, and that will never be the case. But we do have the opportunity to make sure that we're understanding other people and also help ourselves to be better understood. And the best way that I have found is just to be my authentic self. As soon as I decided just to be me, not to try to be Barack or Michelle Obama, not to try to be an Uncle Mickey, not to try and be other amazing leaders that I look up to and admire, and writers that inspire me and challenge me to think, just to be my best version of me. And I feel like there's a big world out there telling us that there's only certain models of success. And I would like to disagree. I think we can all be successful in our own skin and build up our own capital and our own self-esteem and cultural esteem based on who we really are, without having to apologise for it. The challenge for all of us today in leadership is to think about how we can bring people with us and what we want our mark on the world to be. That also requires us to have an examined life, to think about our values, to think about what's important to us, to have the courage of our convictions, to stand up for things, and not always just in our own personal self-interest, but to think about those people who can't stand up for themselves. We're living in a world that has an increasing gap between the people that have and the people who have not. And we all have an opportunity, with whatever privilege has been given to us or any privilege that we have earned through hard work, to think about how we can bring people with us, even if they need a bit of a hand. Contemplating what's important to you and why. Practicing having those conversations with people, even when you're not sure how that conversation is going to go. Trying to have an open mind and an open heart to new ideas. Taking care of your health and your hearts, because it enables us to be generous and kind to other people, including ourselves, including the people that drive us most crazy in the world. I live with some of those. But your health and the state of your heart and your mind is incredibly important to the sustainability of working hard and bringing your best self and moving through the world, making an impact that only you can have with your skills and abilities and knowledge. I really do hope that this graduation is an opportunity for you to really think about what you've achieved, to celebrate that. Give yourself some space and time to relax, knowing that you've worked hard and achieved something wonderful, that you will be role models to other people around you and for each other. I really value in my work, I highly, highly value the power of the collective spirit. So I hope, as people who've studied alongside each other, even if it was through a screen, that you have built the sort of relationships that will be there for the long term. As someone who thinks about the strength of the collective, and as someone as a First Nations Australian who really cares about building this nation to be stronger and better, I do want to take this opportunity to ask you to think about the incredible collective Australian opportunity we have later this year when we get to vote in a referendum. The referendum to acknowledge First Peoples in our highest legal document is a big deal. We don't change our constitution very often, and nor should we. But I just want to make a couple of simple points. At the moment, the Australian Constitution recognises lighthouses, coinage, and Queen Victoria, but says nothing about the First Peoples of this country at all. This recognition will take the form of an advisory committee to the Parliament. That is all this is about. To have it in the Constitution is a permanent recording of the fact that we are the First Peoples of this country. We represent the oldest living continuing cultures on the planet, and it's something that we can be incredibly proud of. So I just want to ask you, as you consider the impact that you're going to have in the world, to think about the collective opportunity we as Australians have in the interests of our country going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanya. That was truly moving, and I think the collective spirit and the obligation as leaders to bring people up after us is an obligation that we shouldn't take lightly, and it is one that as you sit here and you cross the stage, think about how can you bring people up with you. Don't pull the ladder up after you, but reach a hand down. And so now I would like to welcome Emeritus Professor Hilary Winchester, Chair of our Academic Board, for the academic address. Hello. Nice to see you.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd also like to acknowledge that we're on Kaurna land, a meeting and teaching place for centuries. Secondly, I'd really like to offer my congratulations to all the AIB graduates and their families that are here today. And thirdly, I'd like to offer my thanks for asking me to speak today. As Jo just said, I'm the chair of the academic board. And occasions like this really make you think about, well, how did I get to be chair of the academic board? I'm not going to talk so much about my journey, but you know, it makes you think, how did I get there? What's the impact of that? What's the so what question? So for graduates, or soon-to-be graduates, this is an important milestone for you. It's important in becoming who you are, because you're not who you were when you started doing your MBA and 1 DBA. And you are now what you will become. It'll be the start of something different. So for me, at about the age of 10, I became fascinated with geography. Side note, good teachers have a lifetime impact. This was a geography teacher who taught us about a part of England, not that far away, certainly not in Australian terms, but it had different landscapes, it grew different crops, had houses made of different things. And I thought, gosh, this is wonderful, this is fascinating. And so I remember being asked in what would have been year 9 the teachers going round and saying, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, precocious brat that I was, I want to teach geography at university. So I did. And I went about it, you know, with determination, with enthusiasm, with conviction. I got the degree, got the next degree. But life has its twists and turns. And I also realised we actually make very few decisions. I mean, I can think of maybe half a dozen I've made in my life. Because normally we just lurch into the next thing. So most school leavers lurch into uni because that's what all their friends are doing. But you and you and you made a decision. You made a conscious decision after starting work that you were going to do an MBA. And you'll use it. You'll use it to become somebody different. And you'll use it to further your career, to help your family, to benefit the next generation. So make sure, whatever decision you make, that it's a good one, that it's meaningful. Make it meaningful, make it last, and make it benefit others, especially, as Tanya was just saying, those who need a hand up. And then I'll just tell you about a couple of other decisions. And as I say, I think I've only made about half a dozen in my life. I said yes to a double-barreled question, which was, do you want to get married? Do you want to go to Australia? And the answer took about 2 seconds, and the reality took about 10 months to actually occur. So there I am. I find I'm teaching geography in Australia. I'm teaching Australian geography. I couldn't even pronounce Melbourne, let alone Wooloomulu, which my class soon told me was not pronounced like that. And the second decision was about a few years later, and I was in Newcastle, the land of the Awabakal people, and I decided to run for Chair of Academic Board, which there has the very fancy title of President of Academic Senate. So in the space of a year, because my job was bought out, I switched from geography to governance and regulation and policy and accreditation. And that was last century. So make a decision, make it meaningful, make it last, make sure it benefits others. So as a chair of academic board, and I'm now, as I say, chair of academic board here, I've chaired a lot of committees, but I have been able to bring some of that experience and knowledge to help other institutions, some training, some mentoring, and I think improve parts of the higher education sector. And I would only be chair of the academic board here if I was convinced, and I am convinced, that this is a quality institution. Very few of us can change the world, but what we can do is to use our influence in our own arena. And for me, that's about being chair of academic board, in charge of academic governance, telling people in other institutions about academic governance, training, mentoring, hopefully bringing them along with me. So you, graduates, will be different people with your MBA, and you will make decisions. Please make those decisions wisely, make them meaningful, and above all, use your knowledge and your experience to benefit others. So congratulations again as you take your MBA to the world. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Dr. Donald Winchester, Senior Lecturer and Discipline Leader for Finance at AIB, to commence the conferral of the awards.
Thank you, Hilary. Thank you, John. For the award of Graduate Certificate in Management, Anne Marie Collishaw. Cherie Renee Gray. Harry Noel Michael Morin. Nicholas Pachero. Catherine Trembath. For the award of Graduate Diploma in Management, Rebecca Louise Judith. Ronaldo Sabina. For the award of Master of Business Administration, Natasha Lynn Ace. Dermot William Austin. Jane Marie Barrett. Justin James Barry. Andrew Edward Bartlett, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Brendan John Benson, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Clarissa Jane Benson, Betts. Alicia Mauricio Bolton. Blair Daniel Boyd, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Jeremy Philip Brown. Catherine Margaret Burdekin, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Hayley Burke, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Kieran Michelle Burrows, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Michelle Carter. Nathan Carter. Murray James Kassar. Antonio Damien Cavallaro. Elia Chain. This, yeah. Thank you. Who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Rahina Gay Chase. Philippe Churnside, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Paul Anthony Chanagallo. Sarah Louise Constable. Jason Theodore Cravino. Jasmine Julia Currington. Sean Andrew DiGiglio. Martha de Villiers, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Vanessa Mary Louise Del Nivo, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Jaldane. Yeah. Douglas Golding, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Orlando Gallardo Dolores. Francis Ross Dowdle. Anita Kaylee Isgilo. Mark Edward Farrell. Dean Michael Fishman. Eloise Mary Fletcher. Tonya Fridless. Corinne Glass. Michael Gordon Goodhue, sorry. Karina Bonnie Graham. Christopher Stephen Greaves. Sam David George Grover. Maruti Gurunava. Celia Claire Haley. Eliza Elizabeth Hayes, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Jacqueline Healy. Andrew James Hennessy. Alexandra Hines, sorry. Alan Leslie Richard James. Craven Kumar Jamokia. Selena Joyce Jeffrey. Dig Hung Jen. Punet Kaur. Jason Andrew Kennedy. Lechna Kiradaher. Liam Stewart Kisson. Andrew Kidham. Susanna Jane Louise LeBron. Natalie Louisa Margaret Ledington. Anthony John McKaiser. Jihan Malin Malahara Gagage. Sorry, mate. Daniel McCooey. Corinne Estelle Melvin. Tania Lorraine McNeil. Holly Margarita Miller. Lord Joseph Tipu Maringha. Vivian Jane Ann Mosman, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Annette Marion Michael, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. This concludes the first half of the degree conferrals. I would like to invite Dr. Mahan Paul-Hassan Zadar, Senior Lecturer in Leadership and Human Resource Management at AIB, to present the second half of the degree conferrals.
Continued for the award of Master of Business Administration. Benga Matthew Oladinde. Sandru Olori. Andrew Thomas O'Meara. Jasmine Bawit Parikh. Nicholas William Peel, who is also a recipient of the Dean Merit Award. Rebecca Grace Pigram. Grace Parr Pinkerton. Graz Pitlick. Vedrana Radic. Sandhya Sudeshni Ram. Nathan John Ralph. Blair James Reynolds. Ronald Richards. Teresa Margarita Richards. Lana Patrice Rulon, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Nadia Schilling, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Award. Arthur Mark Sitaramaya, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Jennifer Robin Snook. Bishoy Soleiman. Mark David Cipiteri, sorry. Melissa June Corbett Sockley. Tun Tong. Joshua Charles Taylor. Satyashni Thiru Navu Karasu. Sean Hon Win Trong. Vasilikis Simopoulos. Mark Ivan Erbes. Deepika Varataraja. Maria Estella Joy Villanueva. Katish Wing, who is also a recipient of Dean's Merit Award. Mark Peter Wisnai. Jan Peter Wegstaff. Ashan Sanjeev Balivitia Kanamji. Kanamji. No, not present. Natalie Ann Walker. Jane Louise Walter. David Andrew Walkins. Edward Conham Wilson. Philip John Woodhouse. Emily Renee Wright. David James Wiley. For the award of Master of Business Administration, Entrepreneurship Management. Carten Chicono. Damon Joseph Cullen. Stephen Norman Donaldson. Andrew Valentin Ferner. Todd Ahmad Usha. Fiona Bernadette Elizabeth Maggie. Babu Philip. For the award of Master of Business Administration Finance, Tamara Leanne Allen. Alice Francis. Shane Timothy Gilbert. Brian Ross Jones. Ryan Garcia Lee. Timothy Mark Price. Adam John Ramos. Anilesh Kavich Reddy. Jayantan Sivatas. Christopher James Thompson. Jackson James Whips. For the award of Master of Business Administration, Human Resource Management, An Nok Trong Bui. Stephanie Dors. Amy Claire Jakes. Yvonne Elvin Jones. Sean McIntyre. Kelly Jade Quinn. Karina Noel Rasanen. Daniel Jade Sanderson. Tony Claire Williams. Not present. Yeah, present. Nicholas Chris Tafalos. For the award of Master of Business Administration, Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Charles Dahari. Congratulations. Kavina Thondroyan. Helena Frederica Yates. For the award of Master of Business Administration, Marketing Management, Brandon Matthew Hertz. Alvin Matthews. Anita Rosa Sattler. For the award of Doctor of Business Administration, Paul William Long for a thesis titled The Factor Influencing Medical Staff Engagement at Non-for-Profit Hospitals in Australia, with Supervisor Professor Erwin Lowe and Dr. Carlin Butcher. Paul's research sought to understand the reason why doctors are engaged working in non-for-profit hospitals in Melbourne and Sydney. This research found that doctors want to share responsibility for their organization's success. They would like more say in the running of the department and to practice and participate in decision-making. This research is likely to be of great interest to regulators and training bodies. And that concludes the second half of degree conference. And that concludes the second half of the degree conference.
Thank you so much to Professor Winchester, as well as to both Donald and Mahan. I know that our team are always so nervous about trying to get your names right on such an important day. They sit there shaking next to me before we go. So a huge congratulations, I hope you've moved your tassel to the correct side, to all of our newly minted graduates. We are so, so proud of you, but also, and everyone's getting tangled in their tassels. And I'm no good, I don't know which side. However, now that you've got it on whatever the correct side is, we would like to welcome you to our huge global community of fellow alumni. You are in very good company, and we would love you to stay engaged. Now, there were hundreds more graduands today who couldn't be with us for a variety of reasons, but we don't want the day to pass without acknowledging them. And so behind me is about to start a list of names of all of the eligible graduands, and at the conclusion of this credit roll, we will present this year's Valedictorian. So Hilary only gets a very short break because I would like to invite Hilary back to present the Valedictorian Award. Now, the Valedictorian Award recognises an AIB student for academic excellence, the student with the highest GPA of all of our graduates, and the recipient of the award will receive their certificate today from Hilary. The recipient of this year's Valedictorian Award is Vasiliki Chiritsis, and I better have pronounced that right, with a GPA of 6.83. Get up there, lady. Get over there and get your certificate. It's before it descends into well, it is good. No, you come here. Before it descends into complete chaos, just you here. Vasiliki is now going to address you.
Okay, thank you. First, I'd like to say thank you to Professor Hilary Winchester. Let me begin by also saying thank you to our faculty and OLFs. Thank you for shaping us, for pushing us, for challenging us to think more critically. You have made a lasting impact. Thank you to the organizing committee for putting on this event. Events like these take immense planning. So on behalf of the graduating class, thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask the graduates to please stand, turn and face your families and friends and applaud them. Thank you for being our pillars of strength. Your love and support have been invaluable to us. We would not be here without you. Thank you for encouraging us to chase our dream, to dream big, to be fearless, and reminding us that this was a marathon and that with every completed subject, we were one lap closer to the finish line. We owe you a debt of gratitude, so today is your day as much as it is ours. To my own family, my husband Dennis and daughter Maria, who are here with me today, and to my parents back home, George and Dimitra, thank you for coming along on this ride with me. I am proud to be a role model for my own daughter, to lead by example, to want more, and to have the courage and confidence to back myself. For the women of this cohort, who I am proud to have crossed the finish line with, thank you for having the courage to invest in yourselves. My hope is you leave here today believing you are destined for greatness. No matter the obstacles, no matter the barriers, you've got this. To the men of our cohort, I ask that you join us in breaking down barriers as you continue on your own career paths. Where possible, make the impossible possible for as many people. Be the voice for change. Challenge the status quo. It is easy to get caught up in our own goals and aspirations, but we must remember that we do not achieve anything on our own. My time at AIB has taught me the importance of giving back and being a servant leader. It has inspired me to strive for excellence, not just for myself, but for the betterment of those around me. We must use our skills and talents to make a difference, no matter how small it may seem. We have the power to make profound differences, and it starts with the choices we make every day. When we live a life committed to making a positive difference, we set an example for others to follow. When we give back, we create a ripple effect that can inspire others to do the same. Fellow graduates, today is the day that we have been eagerly awaiting for. It marks the end of a chapter in our lives and the beginning of a new one. But let us not forget the journey that led us here. For many of us, we started our AIB MBA journey in 2020. I know I was excited for the possibility of what the future could look like, but if I knew then what I know now, that 2020 wasn't going to just be another year. The year and years ahead would be unlike any other. We pursued our degrees amidst unprecedented global changes and market shifts. We faced supply chain disruptions and had to pivot to new models of work. For many of us, we had to find new ways to balance our academic, personal and professional lives. Despite the challenges we faced, we persevered and overcame them. We have shown resilience, adaptability, and determination. We have proven that anything is possible if we set our minds to it. You now have the ability to make decisions rooted in evidence, integrate theory and practice to perform strategic analysis, demonstrate effective written forms of communication and oral business presentations, implement leadership skills to work effectively within diverse teams, strengthen your critical thinking, and deepen your knowledge of core business functions. But what does it all really mean? It means that an MBA prepared us to plan for the changes in the business world. The skills we have acquired are the best tools for adapting to the unavoidable shifts in industries, markets, and business practices. As MBA graduates, we sit here today as ambassadors of change, ready to make a difference in the world. Let us carry this legacy forward and continue to build a better future for ourselves and future generations. Let us use our skills and knowledge to tackle the challenges that lie ahead and create a world that is more equitable, just, and sustainable. We must voice our recommendations and do so with conviction. We must not be afraid to share our ideas and insights, even if they are different from others. We have earned the right to be at the decision-making table. Let us take our seat with confidence and make our voices heard. Let us strive to make a positive impact on the business world and a society as a whole. And if no seat is available, build your own table and fill it with more diverse teams. You can help create a future where everyone is viewed as an equal partner. And remember, for those that may say, why pursue an MBA at this point in your career? It won't make a difference. It won't change the trajectory of your career path. I say this with a complete sense of pride. Let the haters fuel you. Let the naysayers just be noise. Don't you dare shrink yourself for someone else's comfort. Do not become small for people who refuse to grow. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Remember this, you showed up, you stayed the course, even when things weren't always easy or the path forward was not clear. The grades don't matter, you earned an MBA. So shine your light as bright as possible, because when your light is shining, it automatically gives hope and inspiration for others to do the same. We are the future of business, and we have the power to make a difference. But the path to success will not always be clear, and there will be times when we will face failure. However, it is important to remember that failure is not the end. It is merely an opportunity to learn and grow. We must continue to be tenacious in pursuing our dreams, even when the road is rocky. We must have the resilience to bounce back from setbacks and the determination to keep moving forward. And we must have the courage to take risks and try new things, even if we are uncertain of the outcome. Nothing great was ever achieved by sitting on the sidelines. In a world where you can be anything, be bold in your pursuit, but also be mindful of the impact you have on others and the planet. We live in a world where technology is advancing at an unprecedented pace. It has changed the way we live, work, and interact with one another. At the same time, we're facing critical environmental challenges that require immediate attention. As MBA graduates, you now have an obligation to make a positive difference in the world. Business has the power to drive change, and as business leaders, we have a responsibility to use that power for good. We often hear the argument that there is conflict between people planet, and profit, that we must sacrifice one for the other. But I firmly believe that this is a false dichotomy. Business solutions can be profitable, sustainable, and socially responsible. It is our responsibility to prioritize sustainability and social responsibility in our business decisions. We must work towards creating a world where profit and purpose are not mutually exclusive. We can use our business knowledge and skills to create solutions that benefit not only our bottom line, but also our communities and the planet. We can prioritize the well-being of our employees, customers, and communities while still achieving our business goals. I urge you to embrace your obligation as MBA graduates to make a positive difference in the world. Together, we can create a world where people, planet, and profit are not in conflict, but instead work in harmony to improve humanity. If you remember nothing of this speech, remember this: become the kind of leader that people would follow voluntarily, even if you had no title or position. Pick courage over comfort, over what is fun, fast, or easy. We do not grow when things are easy. We grow when we face challenges. Today, the future is upon us. Whatever the next steps, I encourage you to use your skills and knowledge to leave every situation better than it was when you arrived. As we embark on our individual journeys, let us continue to learn, grow, and inspire one another. We are part of a community of lifelong learners, and I have no doubt that you will continue to make significant contributions in your respective industries and roles. Graduates, and now fellow alumni of the Australian Institute of Business, congratulations and best of luck as you go forth.
Where do we vote? That was quite the call to arms. If we could go out there and do even 5% of what Vasiliki has called us to do, then the profound impact that we would have on the world would be quite extraordinary. Now this is the moment in our graduation ceremony where I always feel a little bit wistful. It's no secret that Grad Day is my favourite day of the year. And as it draws to a close, it marks the final step of an incredible achievement for so many of the people here in the room today. Well, almost the final step. I get in trouble if I don't mention that the cocktail party is at 5 at the banquet hall in the Adelaide Festival Centre, and you will need a ticket in order to gain entry. But, now that I've done that, it is also a time of incredible gratitude. And so I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mickey, Tanya, Hilary, and Vasiliki for sharing their stories, their journeys, and their calls for a better future with us. I'd also like to give a particularly heartfelt thank you to the many AIB staff, those that are here today, and also those that aren't. It is one of the great privileges, not just of my career, but of my life, to work with a team, I always get emotional, that dedicates themselves to transforming the careers and lives of our students. And Graduation Day is the day that very few people get to experience, where we see that come to life. Now, a day like this is no easy feat to organise, and so I would also like to thank Delvine, who begged me not to, for taking the lead, and Alicia for her stage management, and Annalise for coordinating everything around testimonials, footage, videos, and everything else out there, as well as everyone else, and there are many, who contributed to making today so very special. But the final and most important thank you goes to you, our newly minted graduates, for trusting us with your education, for travelling here to be with us to celebrate today, for staying the course and for crossing the finish line. We have nothing but gratitude for each and every one of you. And so from all of us here at AIB, congratulations.
Yalçalak, Obinandon.
Hoş geldinizler.
Sikaritiriya. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
बहुत बहुत बधाई। Pozdravляем! Felicidades!
축하합니다.
Maligayang pagbati!
گوشی
Gratis.
بهتون تبریک میگم.
Hey, parabéns! ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗ੍ਰੈਜੂਏਸ਼ਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਬਾਰਕ।
Très féliciteer!
ਆਸ਼ਮਸਲ।
Bye, Rurgi!
बहुत मुबारक हो।
Gratulacje.
Every single person in that video works for AIB. So now, please stand and join me in the final, and I imagine your hands are hurting, the final round of applause for this year's Australian Institute of Business graduates. As our academics proceed out of the hall. There will be music in a moment for them to procession to. Just walk in a dignified manner to the silence, please. To everyone, that concludes today's celebration.